You're back with Bobby and JJ Radio. If you're just tuning in, I'm Sarah. I'm your guest host for the day. And we're interviewing two guys named Bobby Cortez and JJ Guarena, owners of the Trey Group and the best real estate team in San Antonio. We just talked about the housing market and the process of buying a home. But guys, I want to talk about those who want to sell their home, who are ready to list. So you just talked about the market being so hot right now that homes under, I think you said about $200,000 are just flying off the market. So
Sure.
To me, that means it's probably a good time to sell your home if you're about there. But is this a good time to sell?
Absolutely. So if you look at, historically speaking, real estate is the most expensive it's ever been ever. Right.
Wow.
So if you look at that line graph, it's the most expensive it's ever been ever. We've taken now 2006, 7, and before the crash of 8, which was previously the most expensive real estate ever.
So we've come back, basically.
We recovered, and we're now going past it. San Antonio is the turtle that wins the race, though. So it's not like Austin where you go up and down, or San Francisco. We're steady as it goes, but we don't take the hits either. So it's a very steady investment.
Why do you think that is?
Because we have...
I think it's because of the high taxes.
Well, Texas in general has higher property taxes. So unlike California, where you can get a $2 million home for $1,000 a year taxes, we are at a 2.6 to 3.1% tax rate, meaning so you buy a $100,000 home, your taxes can be up to $3,100 a year. That pumps the brakes on how much you can buy.
Okay.
That first and foremost. But we don't have a state income tax, so the property taxes do pay for our schools, our roads, our utilities. Mm-hmm. So it's a really good, compromise because also unlike California, our state isn't going bankrupt. But so the property taxes really helps the appreciation not get out of hand. But more than anything, we have a very steady economy that's not based on one thing. We have military, we have like medical, we have like 5 universities, we have the National Security Advisory, we have a tremendous amount of different avenues of business here, and so it stays very, very steady. Now back to the selling of the home. So right now it's not a matter, especially if you're under the $250,000 mark, it's not really a matter if people can sell. It's if you have the right agent and you're going to get the max amount of value. So it's not about are we going to sell?
Right.
It's are we going to get the most amount of value.
Right.
And do you have the right team that's marketing the most and taking care of you, pricing it correctly so that you get the max? Because the only trouble or the only hurdle you have in this market as a seller is the appraiser. Will the appraiser give you what you're asking for or what the buyer is trying to give you? Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest thing. And so Bobby and I are very, very good at doing market analysis, comparative market analysis. And we do exactly what appraisers do at their desk. Mm-hmm. And we go back 3 to 6 months, preferably 3 in the same subdivision, only looking at 1 stories if you're a 1 story, or 2 stories if you're a 2 story. Compares apples to apples, so 250 square feet, give or take. Mm-hmm. And we give you a high, low, and average. And then what happens between that? Then we kind of figure out, we have to figure out if you're the high.
Right.
Like you're the prettiest girl on the block, right? You have the granite countertops. You've been completely renovated. There's nothing that you need done as far as repairs. The low is usually a foreclosure.
Foreclosures or short sales. Or houses that are completely outdated that need to be renovated.
Right.
And then your average is what you expect to find in every house. So if you went into a house and this is what you expect the neighbors to be, pretty much what the builder left.
Standard builder upgrades,
Then that's what you're probably going to get the average per square foot. But another reason why such a hot market is selling, there's about 4,500 houses for sale right now.
Wow.
And it sounds like a lot, but it's not a lot. Because if you would have came in 2007, you would have seen a 16,000 plus 16,000 plus. So 4,500 is a very, very low inventory. There's just not a lot of options. Yeah. So when somebody comes in looking for a house, if we get very specific, there's not a lot of houses to look at.
Right. So I have noticed that.
And that's why we're getting a lot of multiple offers.
Okay.
Most of our houses, we get them on the market. They don't see past the weekend.
I've noticed that too. Really fast turnaround. So what sets the Trey Group apart, when it comes to selling homes? So
Good looks.
Like once you've, there's that, of course, but they can only hear your voice right now on the radio, so just the tone of your voice. Yeah. So we know you do the CMA, but what's the process there for the Trey Group for people who want to sell
So when
homes?
I sit down with sellers, I say you can control 4 things, and that's it. We can't control how many foreclosures in your neighborhood, if there's going to be a hike in interest rates, if all the military bases will go away, if your neighbor doesn't mow his lawn. We can't control a lot of stuff.
Right.
4 things we can't control. Number 1, how the property is, the property condition. Did you put the max amount of value in to get the max amount of value out? Do you have the granite tops, or are you the only guy that doesn't have the granite countertops? Or is your house a mess? Does it smell like smoke? Do you need a fresh paint job because you have eclectic tastes and you like, pink walls? Like, so this is the property conditions, number one. Number two, the price. Did you price it right? And of course that goes down to the market analysis. Number three, the availability to show. So the biggest competition for a seller right now is, builders. Home builders are open from 11 to 7, right? Noon to 6 on Sundays. So you got to be open 11 to 7, noon to 6 on Sundays. No matter if you have dogs or kids or whatever, your house has to be perfectly pristine during those times, and you have to be available or allow buyers to go and look at it. The only left, so it's availability to show, the property condition, the price. The last thing is marketing. Now, humbly, I want to say that we're the best marketing team in San Antonio.
Well, naturally.
That's humble.
That's me being humble because because Trulia has granted us the top 1% in the United States of America.
That's right.
So we have the best marketing strategy as far as Trulia, which is a non-biased national website. They say that we have the most market knowledge and have the most marketing for all of our listings. So we're on Trulia, we're on Zillow, we're at the very top, we're on Homes.com, we're on Realtor.com, we're on Bobby and JJ Radio. We have commercials for all of our listings, and you're going to hear that here in the next break. We have Keller Williams as a company, our mother company. They help us, market our homes in the magazine and on their websites.
I've also noticed that some of the houses that you're listing, there's a little sign out there. It says text, it has like a number next to it. So what is that about?
So unlike other, we give and we take. So what I mean by that is we make sure that you're on all the major player websites like Zillow, Trulia, and Realtor.com, but then we also take them away from those websites by having your address as its own website. So if you lived on 123 Main Street, we would have 123mainstreet.com. And so when you're on Zillow and it says, oh, I like that house, you click it, it takes you out of Zillow because we don't want you to stay in Zillow.
Right.
Because Zillow, you see everyone else's house. We want to keep their attention on your home.
Right.
And you have your own website. On that website of your address, you have a all the property statistics you would ever want. You have school reports, you have crime reports, you have a visual tour. It's just someone focusing the hype of the buyer on that one home. If they drive around, they can text it and get that thing. We want to keep all the hype on that one home. This is the biggest mistake I think sellers do. They go to the other franchises, and I won't say who, 21, but or
I heard that.
I sneezed.
Yeah,
but
wipe the mic off. It's gross.
But when you have the broker's number in the yard, they call the broker, and it's whoever's on duty to answer the phone. They call it phone duty. Could be a brand new agent, could be a veteran,
right? Could
be a great agent. But let me tell you what's going to be consistent. They're going to take the attention away from your home. They're going to say, oh, you like 123 Main Street? Cool. I have a listing at 158 Main Street.
Right.
That's even cheaper or whatever.
Right.
And so we don't do that. We keep all the focus on our listings. Our lawn signs have our little weenie dogs on there that we have in all of our marketing, and they know that it's the Trey Group because it's the little weenie dogs in the front.
Yeah.
And it's only our number on the front, not Keller Williams, our number, because we keep the hype on the house because that's how it's the most successful
So me and JJ like to go out there before we list a house. We walk the property.
Yeah.
We want to see the condition. We want to see. We're really good at telling people what they have to fix, and if it's something that we're going to fix and not get our money out of it, then a lot of times we'll tell them not to touch it.
Right.
If we got to bring in a stager, we'll bring in a stager. We have them on hand. But
we have Sean Collar that'll come and do different stuff, like replace the siding so we don't have to do it later.
Yeah, he's a great contractor.
So if we need something fixed, we've got guys on hand that are going to come out and do it. Another thing is we don't overprice a house. We price it correctly. A lot of people want to try to overprice a house, but what that does, it makes the house sit on the market for a little bit too long, and then you got people lowballing you because you've been on the market too long. It gives you that impression that something's wrong with the house.
Right.
So pricing it correct, pricing it so we can sell it as quick as possible for as much as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Is what we're really good at.
And being so diverse and educated and doing the show and talking to lenders all the time, every day, it also is the biggest thing too, that when you have multiple offer situations, you're going to have 5 offers, 5 different banks.
Yeah.
5 different loans, right?
Yeah.
If you don't if your agent's not doing his or her due diligence and talking to the lenders and figuring out, are they really pre-qualified or are they pre-approved? Do they have the right amount of work history? Do they not? This is makes or breaks deals. So it's not how much that you get in the beginning. It's did you get the right offer? And if you get the wrong offer, you're in big trouble.
Yeah. Now tell me, Bobby, because you're the best negotiator. That's what you told me to say anyway. You paid me a lot. So tell me about that. How do you negotiate when you've got 5 contracts on a house?
Well, it depends. If there's multiple offers, it gets to a point where there's really not a lot of negotiating. If you come in and there's 4 offers, you're not going to get the best deal, right? If you come in and they tell you there's not an offer pending, you want to come in aggressive, you want to be quick, you want to try to get an answer that day. But in this market, there's not a lot of negotiating with a lot of multiple offers.
Right.
To be honest.
On the seller side, we do more than just the price. You really have to think about the terms, getting them leased back so they can have time to go find another home, making sure they can stay in their house after the closing date, making sure that they don't have to do knick-knack repairs during the inspection and option periods. This is what saves sellers money on every single transaction. Is what saves them money is the little things. It's the vast network that we have and how we use it to better our clients' experience.
Yeah, but a lot of times it's a market analysis and seeing how the house is priced. If it's overpriced, obviously there's more room for negotiations. When it's priced really low, chances are you're going up against multiple people, so come in as aggressive as possible.
Awesome. We'll be back after a few words with our show sponsors in this week's Ask Mr. Credit with Adam Hetrick. When we come back, we'll be talking more with Bobby and JJ. Stay tuned.